get started. In this one, we are reading that is chapter number 9 of CA final audit, that is the related services. In this one, we are covering the chapter that is nothing but the related services. So since we are discussing chapter number 9, that is the related services, we have one file more that so that we can currently we are reading SRS, that is the standard on related services. We are reading standard on related services. Related services में क्या आएगा? After studying this chapter, we all student will be able to understand the meaning of related services. का meaning क्या होगा? Then we will know about what will be the standards on related services. We will understand what will be the nature of agreed upon procedure. So we will actually understand the AUP क्या है? That is the agreed upon procedure. Then afterwards, we will gain the knowledge about the SRS 4400. So we need to read, basically, we need to gain knowledge relating to the SRS 4400, that is engagement to perform agreed upon procedure regarding the financial information. The SRS 4400, that is what? That is the SRS double, जो हमारा स्टैंडर्ड ऑन रिलेटेड सर्विस है, that is SRS 4400, that is engagement to perform agreed upon procedure regarding financial information. तो SRS 4400, that is the SRS standards on related services. We are discussing, that is the topic, that is the chapter 9 of the CA final audit, that is the standards on related service. SRS 4400, हम क्या बोलते हैं कि SRS 4400 क्या होता है? That is engagement to perform agreed upon procedure. कैसे हम क्या बोलेंगे कि कैसे how there will be the engagement to perform the agreed upon procedures regarding the financial information. Engagement to perform agreed upon procedure regarding the financial information. We will understand the reporting requirement of SRS 4400. फिर understand करना है meaning and nature क्या है of compilation engagement. So we have AUP, that is the engagement to perform agreed upon procedure regarding the financial information, that is SRS 4400. Afterwards we have the compilation engagement, that is SRS 4410, that is the compilation engagement. Then afterwards we have the what will be the compilation engagement? We have SRS 4410, that is relating to the compilation engagement. We will gain knowledge about SRS 4410 compilation engagement, understand the reporting requirement of 4410. Further, audit related services SRS 4400, that is engagement to perform agreed upon procedure regarding the financial information. 4410, that is the compilation engagement. Trend Multi Products Limited is engaged in the business of selling ethnic items. It involves procuring of myriad stocks ranging from brassware, wooden to handloom, some furnishing and exotic handicrafts through a chain of dealers who in turn purchase this item directly from artisans, weavers and teeny enterprises. Since procurement is done at a multiple location all over the country, the company has set up an extensive system of inventory control. Considering the huge inventories at the multiple location and associated risk, it requires CSHAN to undertake an exercise involving physical verification of inventory and reconciliation with inventory record for a handsome professional fee. The management also offers suitable staff resources support to perform required procedure. Such an exercise has to be performed in accordance with the prevailing professional standards, and management wants a report in accordance with professional standard applicable to such engagements. Don't do such a work due to attractive fee offered. Shan is on the two boats. At the first place, he is thinking whether such engagement can be acceptable at all. If it is to be accepted, what should be the expected form and content of the report? Since engagement is to be performed in accordance with professional standard, SA 501 instantly came to his mind. Immediately a pack of thoughts that is obliterated this. SA 501 applies to audit a financial statement in part for obtaining audit evidence pertaining to existence and a condition of inventory. Since it is not to conduct audit of financial statement of a company, how can SA 501 be applicable? However, the outlook of assignment appeared to involve application of procedure of an audit nature for performing it. Is there any standard for such a type of engagement involving performing an agreed upon procedure where factual findings are to be reported? Whether such engagement would be in a nature of assurance engagement or not? Why does company need such a type of report? Refining his search, he stumbled upon standards on related services SRS 4400. Sitting in his air-conditioned office on a one sweltering afternoon in Kolkata, he is approached by a client to help it prepare its financial statement. The client is agreeing to provide a trial balance and other required information. However, herein lies the catch. Not only client require his assistance in a preparation and presentation of financial statement, but a compilation report is also required. A similar question struck his mind whether such a compilation report would be in the nature of assurance report. What kind of responsibility are entrusted to a professional accountant while performing such engagement? Chartered accountants in practice are often asked to provide service related to clients which do not involve the expression of opinion on the truth and fairness of financial statements. For the purpose of standardizing the procedure to perform such a kind of a known assurance, it's a known assurance service. The AASB of ICI should do standards on different services, standards on related service. It's a known assurance service. It's what? ये क्या है? ये एक known assurance service है. ये एक known assurance सर्विस है. इशू टू स्टैंडर्ड ऑन टू डिफरेंट सर्विसेज, स्टैंडर्ड्स ऑन रिलेटेड सर्विसेज. उसके बाद द फॉलोइंग स्टैंडर्ड्स हैव बीन इशू अंडर द स्टैंडर्ड्स ऑन रिलेटेड सर्विसेज. SRS 4400, that is engagement to perform agreed upon procedure regarding the financial information, and SRS 4410, that is the compilation engagement. What are the related services? क्या है? Assurance engagement means an engagement in which the practitioner expresses a conclusion. What are the related services? Related services क्या होता है? Assurance engagement means an engagement in which a practitioner जो है express करता है conclusion designed to enhance the degree of confidence of the intended user other than the responsible party about the outcome of evaluation or measurement of a subject matter against the criteria. It means that the practitioner gives an opinion about the specific information due to which the users of informations are able to make confident decision knowing well that chance of information being incorrect is diminished. Not all engagement performed by practitioner are assurance engagement. Other frequently perform engagement that do not meet the definition of assurance engagement. That includes the preparation of tax return where no conclusion conveying assurance is expressed. Consulting or advising engagement such as management and tax consulting. Engagement which is covered by standards for related services such as agreed upon procedures, engagement and compilation of financial and other information. The above engagement are in the nature of related services. What are the agreed upon procedures? In an engagement to perform agreed upon procedure, the auditor is engaged by a client to issue a report of a factual findings. तो agreed upon procedure पे क्या है reporting होगी? There will be the reporting. तो हम SRS 444 जो हमारा SRS 444 ये है 4400 that is engagement to perform agreed upon procedure regarding the financial information. There will be what? There will be the reporting on the factual finding. Reporting होंगी किस पे? Reporting होगी on factual findings पर. Reporting होगी on factual findings पर. There will be what? There will be the reporting on the factual findings पर reporting होगी, which is based on the specified procedure performed on a specified subject matter of specified elements, accounts or items of financial statement. For example, an engagement to perform agreed upon procedure may require the auditor to perform certain procedure concerning invisible items of financial data, say account payables, account receivable, purchases from related parties, and a sales and a profit of statement of an entity, or a financial statement, say a balance sheet or even a complete set of financial statement. However, person performing related service need not necessarily be the auditor of the entity. जरूरी नहीं है कि अगर if the person is reporting on the factual findings or the which is providing the known assurance service, so that the same may be the auditor. It may be other person as well. The SRS 4400 that is engagement to perform agreed upon procedure regarding the financial information. SRS 4400 provide करता है the guidance on the auditor's professional responsibility when an engagement performed agreed upon procedure regarding financial information is undertaken on the form and the content of a report that the auditor issue in connection with such engagement. What will be the objective in accordance with SRS 4400? The objectives of an agreed upon procedure engagement is for the authority to carry out procedure of an audit nature to which the auditor and the entity and any appropriate third party have agreed and to report on the factual findings. As the auditor simply provide the report of the factual findings of agreed upon procedure, no assurance is provided by him in his report. Instead, users of report assess for themselves the procedures and the findings reported by the auditor and draw their own conclusion from the work done by the auditor. The report is usually restricted only to those parties that have agreed to the procedures to be performed, since others unaware of the reason for the procedures may misinterpret कर सकते the results को. जो objective होता है agreed upon procedures engagement at the same is to carry out an audit nature to which the auditor and the entity and any appropriate third party have agreed to report on the factual findings. Now, no assurance is provided in such a report. Such agreed upon procedure engagement are the known assurance engagements. Now, what is basically the difference between the audit versus the agreed upon procedures? A key difference between an audit and the agreed upon procedure relate to assurance. An audit जो है express करता है an opinion and provide assurance to users. However, in case of audit, what we do basically to express an opinion and provide an assurance, we provide the assurance to the user. However, in case of agreed upon procedures, only a report of the factual findings of agreed upon procedure is provided. No assurance is given to user. Instead, user draw their own conclusion based on the factual findings stated in the report. For example, an agreed upon procedure engagement to evaluate validity of account payables may state the following. Compare करना पड़ता है the names of the measure suppliers and the amount outstanding as on the date of the related names and amount in the trial balance. Obtaining supplier statement and confirmation from supplier to confirm the balance. What are the balances exactly outstanding on the date? Comparison of such a statement or confirmation to the amount in the trial balance. Further actual findings like a variation in balances reflected in a trial balance and a statement and a confirmation are given. जो भी actual findings है that the same will be reported as such without providing an assurance. Now what next comes, that is what will be the general principles of a agreed procedures engagement. तो ऑडिटर जो है उसे कंप्लाई करना होगा विद द कोड ऑफ एथिक्स दैट इज इशू बाय द इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट ऑफ इंडिया. The ethical principle governing the auditor's professional responsibility for this type of engagement. Code of ethics basically include the integrity, objectivity, professional competence, due care, confidentiality, professional conduct, and the technical standards. Integrity में there may be technical standards, objectivity, professional competence, and a due care, confidentiality and professional conduct. Independence is not a requirement for agreed upon procedure engagement. However, the terms or objective engagement may require the auditor to comply with the independence requirement of the Code of Ethics that is issued by the Institute of Chartered Accountant of India. Where the auditor is not independent, a statement to that effect should be made in the report of factual findings. Defining the terms of engagement. The auditor should ensure with the representative of the entity and ordinarily other specified parties who will receive copies of the report of factual findings that there is a clear understanding regarding the agreed upon procedures and the condition of the engagement. What are the matter to be agreed include the following. Nature के engagement का including the fact that the procedure performed will not constitute an audit or a review and that accordingly no assurance will be expressed. What will be the these are the matters that include मतलब कौन से matters है जो कि include किए जाएंगे under the agreed upon procedures engagement to perform agreed upon procedure regarding the financial statement. कौन से matters है that is agreed to include the following. Nature क्या engagement का including the fact that the procedure performed will not constitute an audit or a review and that accordingly no assurance will be expressed. जो भी नेचर है एंगेजमेंट का इंक्लूड द फैक्ट कि जो प्रोसीजर परफॉर्म है वो ना तो ऑडिट है ना वो रिव्यू है और ना ही वो कोई एश्योरेंस एक्सप्रेस कर रहा है. तो ये मैटर हमें बताना होगा कि ये कोई ऑडिट नहीं है ना ही रिव्यू है और ना ही कोई एश्योरेंस है. स्टेटेड पर्पस क्या एंगेजमेंट का बिकॉज वी आर सिंपली डूइंग द रिपोर्टिंग ऑन द फैक्चुअल फाइंडिंग्स रिलेटिंग टू अकाउंट रिसीवेबल payables and whatever the case may be the stated what is the purpose of the engagement. Identification of the financial information to which the agreed upon procedures will be applied. Nature, timing and extent क्या होगा of the specific procedures. What will be the nature, timing and extent of specific procedures to be applied. Limitation on distribution of the report of factual finding when such a limitation would be conflict with the legal requirement. If any, the auditor would not accept the engagement. If in the interest of both the client and the auditor that the auditor send an engagement letter documenting the key terms of appointment, an engagement letter confirms the auditor's acceptance of appointment and help avoid misunderstanding regarding such a matter as objective in scope of engagement, the extent of the auditor's responsibility and the form and report to be issued. उसके बाद आता है हमारा what will be the matter that would be included in the engagement letter include a listing of procedures to be performed as agreed upon between the parties. A statement that the distribution of report of factual finding would be restricted to the specified parties who have agreed to the procedures to be performed. Planning क्या the auditor should plan the work so that an effective engagement will be performed. हम क्या बोलते हैं what will be planning? The auditor should plan the work so that an effective engagement जो है हो पाए. Procedures and evidence care. The auditor should carry out what will be the procedures agreed upon and use the evidence obtained as a basis for the report of factual findings. जो भी procedure apply होगी in an engagement to perform the agreed upon procedures may include the inquiry and analysis, the recomputation, comparison, other clerical accuracy checks, observation, inspection, obtaining confirmation. कौन सी ऐसी प्रोसीजर्स एग्रीड अपॉन प्रोसीजर्स एंगेजमेंट में आएगी तो एग्रीड अपॉन प्रोसीजर्स में कौन सी ऐसी प्रोसीजर्स परफॉर्म की जाएगी अंडर द एग्रीड अपॉन प्रोसीजर एंगेजमेंट. इंक्वायरी एंड एनालिसिस, recomputation, comparison and clerical accuracy checks, observation, inspection and obtaining confirmation. Coming to the reporting part. So report on an agreed upon procedure engagement need to describe what will be the purpose and the agreed upon procedure of engagement in sufficient detail so that enable the reader to understand the nature क्या है and the extent of the work performed. The report should also clearly mention that no audit or review has been performed. The report of factual findings should contain title क्या होगा, addressing ordinarily the appointing authority, identification of specific financial and non-financial information to which the agreed upon procedure have been applied. A statement that the procedure performed were those agreed upon with the recipient. A statement that the engagement was performed in accordance with the standards on related services जो भी applicable हो to the agreed upon procedures engagement. Identification that what will be the purpose क्या होगा for which the agreed upon procedures were performed. A listing of the specific procedures performed. A description of auditor's factual finding including the sufficient details of errors and exception found. A statement that the procedure performed do not constitute either the audit or review and such no assurance. मतलब हम ये तो बताएंगे कि ये ना तो audit है, ना ही ये कोई review services और ये ना ही कोई assurance है. So this is simply the standards on related service. A statement that the report is restricted to those parties that have agreed to the procedures to be performed. A statement when applicable that the report relates only to the elements, account, item or financial and non-financial information to be specified and it does not extend to the entity's financial statement taken as a whole. Date क्या है of the report, place क्या है and auditor के signature क्या है. Then moving further, that is the documentation. The auditor should document matters which are important in providing evidence to support the report of factual findings and evidence that the engagement was carried out in accordance with this SRS and the terms of engagement. एक कंपनी जो है वो आपको ये पूछ रही है कि आपको कैरी आउट करना है प्रोसीजर ऑफ कंफर्मेशन ऑफ इट्स अकाउंट रिसीवेबल हैविंग जिसका बैलेंस इन एक्सेस ऑफ ₹10 lakh per assets the books of accounts at the close of the year. The work to be performed only involves preparing and sending confirmation requests to such a party, analysis of variation on receipt or confirmation and submission or a report in accordance with the professional standard. What point have to be kept in mind for inclusion in the report is specifically for such engagement. Then हम आ जाते हैं हमारा तो ये सारा हमारा SRS 4400 that is engagement that is engagement to perform agreed upon procedures, that is engagement to perform agreed upon procedure regarding the financial statement financial information खत्म हो गया है. अब आ जाते हैं हम compilation engagement पे. Compilation engagement बोलता है deals with the practitioner की क्या responsibility है जब एंगेज होगा टू असिस्ट मैनेजमेंट इन द प्रिपरेशन एंड प्रेजेंटेशन ऑफ हिस्टोरिकल कि आपको क्या करना है, प्रिपेयर करना है, प्रेजेंट करना है हिस्टोरिकल फाइनेंशियल इंफॉर्मेशन विदाउट ऑब्टेनिंग एन एश्योरेंस on that information and to report on the engagement in accordance with this SRS. ये अप्लाई होता है टू द कंपाइलेशन एंगेजमेंट फॉर हिस्टोरिकल फाइनेंशियल इंफॉर्मेशन. कंपाइलेशन एंगेजमेंट जो होता है फॉर फाइनेंशियल इंफॉर्मेशन अदर देन हिस्टोरिकल फाइनेंशियल इंफॉर्मेशन and compilation engagement for non-financial information can be performed under this standard after necessary adaptation. SQC1 जो है वो applicable होता है to all engagement standards पर. Since SRS 440 is also one of the engagement standards, SQC1 applied to form in respect of form compilation engagement too. Now what is the compilation engagement क्या है? Compilation engagement एक ऐसी engagement in which practitioner apply करता है accounting and financial reporting expertise to assist the management in the preparation and a presentation of financial information of an entity in accordance with the applicable financial reporting framework and issues a report. Management जो है वो request कर सकता है accountant को in public practice to assist with the preparation and presentation of financial information of an entity. उसके बाद financial information that is subject है of the compilation engagement may be required for various purpose including हमें कंप्लाई करना होगा मैंडेटरी पीरियडिक फाइनेंशियल रिपोर्टिंग रिक्वायरमेंट जो भी एस्टेब्लिश है इन अ लॉ रेगुलेशन इफ एनी फॉर पर्पस अनरिलेटेड टू मैंडेटरी फाइनेंशियल रिपोर्टिंग अंडर रेलेवेंट लॉ और रेगुलेशन इंक्लूडिंग फॉर एग्जांपल for management or TCWG prepared on a basis of appropriate for their particular purpose such as preparation of financial information for internal use. For periodic financial reporting undertaken for external parties under a contract or other form of agreement such as financial information जो कि provide किया जाता है to a funding body to support provision or continuation of a grant. For transactional purpose, for example, to support a transaction involving changes to the entity's ownership or financing structure such as for a merger or acquisition. A compilation engagement जो है that the same is not an assurance engagement. A compilation engagement does not require the practitioner to verify the accuracy and completeness of information provided by management for compilation and otherwise to gather evidence to express an audit opinion and a review conclusion on the preparation of financial information. What will be द ऑब्जेक्टिव इन अकॉर्डेंस विद SRS 4410. हम क्या बोलते हैं ऑब्जेक्टिव क्या होगा इन अकॉर्डेंस विद SRS 4410. जो प्रैक्टिशनर का ऑब्जेक्टिव होता है इन अ कंपाइलेशन एंगेजमेंट अंडर दिस SRS आर टू. ऑब्जेक्टिव्स क्या होगा इन अ कंपाइलेशन एंगेजमेंट. अप्लाई कीजिए आप अकाउंटिंग and financial reporting expertise to assist management in the preparation and presentation of financial information. Report कीजिए in accordance with the requirement of this SRS. Apply कीजिए accounting and financial reporting expertise to assist management in preparation and presentation of financial information in accordance with the applicable financial reporting framework जो कि based होगा on the information provided by the management. Report कीजिए in accordance with the requirement of this SRS. फिर what will be the scope of compilation engagement का scope क्या होगा. जो भी scope होगा compilation engagement वो vary करेगा depend on the circumstances of the engagement. In every case it will involve assisting management in a preparation and presentation of entities financial information in accordance with the financial reporting framework जो भी based होगा on information provided by management. In some compilation engagement management may have already prepared the financial information itself in a draft or preliminary form. Management retain responsibility for the financial information and on the basis on which it is prepared and presented. That responsibility includes application by management of judgment required for the preparation and presentation of financial information. That includes the selection and application of appropriate accounting policy and where needed developing reasonable accounting estimates. What will be the different financial reporting framework can be used to prepare and present financial information, ranging from a simple entity-specific basis of accounting to establish financial reporting standard. The financial reporting framework adopted by management to prepare and present the financial information वो depend करता है on the nature of entity and what will be the intended use of the information. Now comes what will be the ethical requirements. जो भी प्रैक्टिशनर है वो कंप्लाई करेगा रेलेवेंट एथिकल रिक्वायरमेंट्स के साथ in complying with the code of ethics said to the practitioner compliance with the relevant ethical requirements are required to be identified and appropriately addressed. Being in nature of known assurance engagement independence requirement do not apply to compilation engagement. However, laws or regulation में specify कर सकता है requirements or disclosure rules pertaining to independence. Then comes the engagement, acceptance and continuance. जो practitioner है वो accept नहीं करेगा the engagement unless the practitioner has agreed the terms of engagement with management and the engaging party different including the intended use and distribution of financial information and any restriction on either of its use or distribution where applicable. Identification कीजिए आप applicable financial reporting framework का objective and scope क्या होगा compilation engagement का responsibility क्या होगी practitioner including the requirement to comply with relevant ethical requirement and responsibility of management for. Now management जो है वो responsible होता है किन किन चीजों के लिए. Just a minute. मैनेजमेंट जो है रिस्पॉन्सिबल होता है किन किन चीज़ों के लिए मैनेजमेंट जो है रिस्पॉन्सिबल होता है. The financial information and for the preparation and presentation thereof in accordance with the financial reporting framework that is acceptable in view of the intended use of the financial information and the intended user. डिजाइन कीजिए इम्प्लीमेंट कीजिए मेंटेन कीजिए of such internal control as the management determine जो भी necessary हो to enable the preparation of financial statement that are free from material misstatement whether due to fraud or error. Accuracy and completeness of records, document, explanation and other information जो भी provided की जाएगी by the management for the compilation engagement. Judgment needed in the preparation and presentation of financial information including those for which the practitioner may provide assistance in the course of compilation engagement. So be expected form and content. What will be the expected form and content of the practitioner report? Expected form and content क्या होगा practitioner की report का? The practitioner shall record करेगा the agreed terms of engagement in an engagement letter or other suitable form of written agreement prior to performing the engagement. On recurring compilation engagement, the practitioner shall evaluate whether the circumstances including the changes in the engagement acceptance consideration require the terms of engagement to be revised and whether there is a need to remind the management of the existing terms of engagement. Performing the engagement. Perform करनी पड़ेगी हमें engagement. Practitioner obtain करेगा understanding of the following matters sufficient to be able to perform the compilation engagement. Entity का business क्या है, operation क्या है, including entity का accounting system क्या है, accounting records क्या है, applicable financial reporting framework क्या है, including its application and the entity's industry. Practitioner compile करेगा the financial information using the record, document, explanation and other information including significant judgment provided by management. जो प्रैक्टिशनर है वो डिस्कस करेगा मैनेजमेंट से और टीसीडब्ल्यूसी के साथ जो भी उसे अप्रोप्रिएट लगा है दोस्त कौन से सिग्निफिकेंट जजमेंट है फॉर विच द प्रैक्टिशनर हैज प्रोवाइडेड असिस्टेंस इन अ कोर्स ऑफ कंपाइलिंग द फाइनेंशियल इंफॉर्मेशन. Prior to completion of compilation engagement, practitioner जो है वो रीड करेगा the compiled financial information in light of practitioner understanding of entity, business and operations and the applicable financial reporting framework. If in the course of compilation engagement, the practitioner become aware that no records, documents, explanation and other information including the significant judgment provided by management for the compilation engagement are incomplete, inaccurate or otherwise unsatisfactory, the practitioner shall bring that to the attention of management and request the additional or corrected information. If the practitioner is unable to complete the engagement because management has failed to provide the records, document, explanation and other information including significant judgment as requested, the practitioner shall withdraw करेगा from the engagement, inform management and those charged with governance of the reason for withdrawing. That what is exactly the reason for withdrawing. If the practitioner become aware during the course of engagement that the compiled financial information does not adequately refer to or describe the applicable financial reporting framework, amendment to be the compiled financial information are required for the financial information needed not to be materially misstated and the compiled financial information is otherwise misleading. The practitioner shall propose the appropriate amendment to management. If management decline or does not permit the practitioner to make the proposed amendment to the compiled financial information, the practitioner shall withdraw from the engagement and inform management and those charged with governance of the reason for withdrawing. If withdrawal from the engagement is not possible, the practitioner shall determine the professional and legal responsibility जो भी applicable है in the circumstances में. The practitioner obtain करेगा acknowledgement from management and TCWG as appropriate. They have taken responsibility for the final version of compiled financial information. Communication होगा with the management and those charged with governance. जो भी practitioner है वो communicate करेगा management के साथ, those charged with governance के साथ जो भी appropriate होगा on a timely basis during the course of compilation engagement. जितने भी matters है concerning the compilation engagement that in the practitioner professional judgment are of sufficient importance to merit the attention of management or those charged with governance as appropriate. An important purpose of the practitioner report is to clearly indicate the nature of compilation engagement and the practitioner role and responsibility in the engagement. The practitioner report is not a vehicle to express an opinion or a conclusion on the financial information in any form. The practitioner report issue for the compilation engagement shall be in writing and shall include the following elements. What will be the report title, the addressee as required by the terms of engagement, a statement that the practitioner has compiled the financial information based on the information provided by the management. A description of the responsibility of management or those charged with governance as appropriate in relation to compilation engagement in relation to financial information. Identification कीजिए of applicable financial reporting framework. If a special purpose financial reporting framework is used, a description in reference to the description of that special purpose financial reporting framework in the financial information. Identification कीजिए financial information including the title of each element on the financial information. It comprises more than one element and the date of financial information or the period to which it relates. A description of practitioner responsibility कि कैसे compile किया जाएगा financial information including the engagement was performed in accordance with the SRS and the practitioner has compiled with relevant ethical requirement. A description of what a compilation engagement entails in accordance with this SRS. Since a compilation engagement is not an assurance engagement, the practitioner is not required to verify the accuracy and completeness of information which is provided by management for the compilation. Accordingly, the practitioner does not express an audit opinion or a review conclusion on whether the financial information is prepared in accordance with the applicable financial reporting framework. Is prepared using a special purpose financial reporting framework and explanatory paragraph that describe the purpose क्या है for which the financial information is prepared if necessary, the intended users, and contain a reference to a note in the financial information that discloses this information draws the attention of readers of report to the fact that the information is prepared in accordance with a special purpose framework and that as a result of information may not be suitable for other purpose. The date क्या होगी to the practitioner report and practitioner का date, signature and place of signature. Engagement level quality control. The engagement partner shall take responsibility for the overall quality of each compilation engagement to which that partner is assigned, and the engagement being performed in accordance with the firm's quality control policies and the procedures. Documentation. When it comes to documentation part, the practitioner shall include in the engagement documentation consists a significant matter arising during the compilation engagement and how those matters were addressed by the practitioner. A record of how the compiled financial information reconcile करेगा with the underlying records, document, explanation and other information provided by management. A copy of the final version of the compiled financial information for which management or TCWG as appropriate has acknowledged their responsibility and the practitioner report. The practitioner may consider also including the engagement documentation, a copy of entities, trial balance, summary or significant accounting records and other information that the practitioner used to perform the compilation. We have a question. During the course of performing a compilation engagement in accordance with SRS 4410, it becomes known to you that the client has suffered a theft loss of 100 lakh of its inventory over a period of time at a storage location visited infrequently. A claim was lodged by the client with the insurance company which was repudiated due to certain technical reasons relating to coverage and policy. The client has not preferred a complaint or an appeal against such said repudiation. The amount is reflected under the hard current asset and trial balance of the client. Discuss how should you proceed with the matter. तो test your understanding का question number 2 है ये. तो चैप्टर तो यहाँ पे खत्म हो जाता है. टेस्ट योर अंडरस्टैंडिंग का क्वेश्चन. In this instant case, amount of 100 lakh is reflected under the hard current asset in a trial balance. Since our client claim has been repudiated and no appeal has been preferred, it is a loss for the client and should be dealt with accordingly. Therefore, amendment are required for the financial information are not to be materially misstated. If the practitioner become aware during the course of engagement that amendment to the compiled financial information are required for the financial information not to be materially misstated, or the compiled financial information is otherwise misleading, the practitioner shall propose the appropriate amendments to management. If management declines or does not permit the practitioner to make the proposed amendment to the compiled financial information, the practitioner shall withdraw from the engagement and inform management and those charged with governance of the reason of withdrawing. If withdrawal from the engagement is not possible, the practitioner shall determine what will be the professional and legal responsibility applicable in the circumstances. So we describe engagement is an agreed upon procedures engagement. Following point that to be kept in mind for included in the report. A statement that the procedure performed were those agreed upon with the recipient. A statement that the engagement was performed in accordance with the standards on related service जो भी applicable है to the agreed upon procedure engagement. Identification किया जाएगा of the purpose for which the agreed upon procedure were performed. A listing of the specific procedures performed. A description of the auditor's factual finding including sufficient details of error and exceptions found. A statement that the procedure performed do not constitute either an audit or a review and such no assurance is expressed. A statement that the auditor performed additional procedure as audit or review other matter might have come to light that have been reported. A statement that the report is restricted to those parties that have agreed to the procedures to be performed. A statement in the report relate only to the element account and item of financial and non-financial information जो भी specify है and it does not extend to the entity's financial statement taken as a whole. KM Limited has engaged your firm for compilation of financial statement in accordance with the requirement of SRS 4410. You also come to know that the company is starting a new unit in Rourkela, Odisha. The company management has provided you with a draft trial balance and requires assistance in the preparation and presentation of its financial statement for the year end. The management requires such a preparation and presentation for its internal use. During the course of engagement, it is noticed that there are apparent errors in a few opening balance brought forward from previous year relating to some outstanding incentive receivable from government authority. These have been swapped with some other balance in the trial balance. However, there are no credit transaction in such incentives accounts or account whose balance have been swapped during the year. One of the team members suggests that it is one of the duty to ensure that the revenue figures stated in the trial balance at least are verified to ensure that all the revenue required to be booked by the company have in fact been booked. It is also suggested by this team member that even though it is compilation engagement, quality control aspect like adhering to appropriate standards need to be followed. Before signing and issuing a report under SRS 4410, you once again read the financial information. It comes to your notice that figures relating to setting up of a new unit of a company coming up with the Rourkela in Odisha have not been properly disclosed in the compiled financial statement. The expenditure was incurred from a bank account maintained in a Rourkela and omitted be shown under appropriate heads. इसको हम नोट कर लेते हैं. Answer to integrated scenario. First card is B. Second card is C. Third card is B. Fourth card is A. Fifth card is C. In respect of error in some of the opening balance notice as described in case, which of the following statement is most appropriate? So such errors should be brought to the knowledge of management. First का है B. As regards the suggestion of one of the team members regarding the verification of all revenue of the company, which of the following statement is most appropriate? The suggestion of team member is not proper as verifying the accuracy and completeness of information provided by management is not required in such engagement. In view of the team member's suggestion relating to adherence to appropriate standard for quality control, which of the following statement is relevant in the context of the said engagement? हम क्या बोलते हैं कि SQC 1 is applicable in this engagement. Which of the following statement is most appropriate as regard omission of expenditure under appropriate heads pertaining to the Rourkela unit in a compiled financial statement? The above noted omission can be misleading by disregarding such as omission. The fundamental principle of integrity is violated. An engagement cannot be performed in accordance with ethical requirements. The detailed documentation is maintained during the course of compilation engagement. Which of the following statement is most appropriate regarding the assembly of final engagement file? Final engagement file should be assembled on a timely manner after the engagement report has been finalized in accordance with the time limit set by the firm. जो भी related service engagement होते हैं, these are not assurance engagement. In such a type of engagement, no assurance is provided by the practitioner. In an engagement to perform agreed upon procedures, the auditor is engaged by the client to issue a report of factual findings based on the specified procedure performed on a specified subject matter of specified elements, accounts, or items of financial statement. SRS 4400 provide guidance on auditors' professional responsibility when engagement to perform agreed upon procedure regarding financial information of the same is undertaken. one on the form content of the report that the auditor issue in connection with such engagement. Compilation engagement is an engagement in which the practitioner apply the accounting and financial reporting expertise to assist management in the preparation and presentation of financial information of an entity in accordance with the applicable framework and issues a report as far as practitioner responsibility of given. चैप्टर तक नहीं है।